Hello, everybody. Peter Breen from Publicis Commerce here. We are almost live at Shoptalk Spring here in Las Vegas. We took a little break from the show floor and are relaxing in the quiet of a suite. We're getting the perspectives of executives from across the Publicis Commerce ecosystem just to find out what they're seeing and hearing at the show about key trends and takeaways and things like that. I'm here right now with Sudip Mazumder, who is Retail Industry Lead for Publicis Sapient.
Very nice to meet you, Peter.
Nice to meet you too, and thanks for making the trek over here.
Yeah, I'm glad we get to talk. But it has been very exciting Shoptalk this year. A lot of discussions around, as you can imagine, agentic commerce.
Mm-hmm.
One of our clients, Gap, just made a big announcement as well around their partnership with Google and how they're starting to really use Gemini to be the transaction channel as well, not just a discovery channel. So pretty exciting to see. I was talking to the client just a few minutes back, and they were talking about that they are seeing a lot of impressions already on the experience in Google from there. So a lot of discussions around agentic commerce, not just on the discoverability, which has been the key focus, like AEO and GEO, right, which has been the talk of town, but now it's getting into more around transactions. And obviously Google is leading the way with all the changes that they made with the protocol most recently, as they're tying loyalty. So you actually know who your customer is when they're making transactions. And now it's a single click purchase directly from Google, which like Gap, one of our clients, as I mentioned, is kind of the front runner. So a lot of discussions whenever I talk to every single vendors, right? Whether I just came from the shop floor talking to Miracle, who is a big marketplace provider. They're also talking about how they're building tools to help augment the product catalog in preparation for agentic commerce. Mm-hmm. They're also building out how they can really help, because they actually drive a lot of traffic as well, right? So how they are building partnerships with these answer engines, so they can help drive the transactions as well and pass on this information down to the actual product owners, if you will, right? Talking to sellers, if you will. So pretty exciting stuff going on across the board.
And what you're seeing here, hearing here, does that align with what your clients are talking about and what they're looking for?
Yeah, and that's what I started with. Like,
right.
Our clients are front and center asking, like, what, like, to them, this whole agentic commerce is a new channel, right? Think about, like, when mobile was coming, like everybody thought about, okay, I'm just going to use my desktop experience for mobile. It didn't pan out very well, right? They soon figured out that they need to do something different. When the answer engines were coming out, they said, okay, fine, it's another form of SEO, so they will come in and search my site and get the information about my products. But soon they're figuring out, to really stand out in the answer engines, they really need to think about the product infrastructure, how they actually build out the real data foundation around product. Because ultimately what they need to think about is, why would a customer want to buy your product? What is so different about the product? And that needs to show up in your descriptions and everything in answer engines. Because say, for example, you sell Nike, there's tens of, I would say hundreds of retailers who are selling Nike.
True.
Right? How do your Nike stand out, right? And why should anybody buy your Nike shoes, right? So other than price, it has to be about how do you contextualize the information for users. So I'm going on a running trip, right? Means I need shoes which will be catering to my interests. So those kind of aspects are getting very, very important. And then also connecting to the intent of the customers and how you have your product catalog information really catering to that. The other aspect is also around really understanding, like previously analytics was all about what customers are coming, but now agents are coming. Right? Right. How do you tailor your analytics for the agents? And in some cases, you have your own user agents within your site, right? So you may have a personal stylist in your site. So how does that talk to these other agents that are coming to shop on your site, right? So a lot of things for retailers to figure out, and that's why there's a lot of questions that people have a lot of questions around what they should do. and every vendor are coming to them with their POV around tools that they have. And we find ourselves in this unique position of really helping them guide around what's most important, how should they think about it, and how do they not let some of the key aspects that differentiate the product into the answer engine and start making it an answer engine like IP, right? They retain the information about the customer and some precise details about the products that will be unique, but also stand out in the answer engines.
What is Publicis Sapient's take on agentic commerce right now? You know, at Grocery Shop back in the fall, the feeling was like the agents are taking over. It seems like at this show there are some like people are taking a deep breath and saying, okay, let's hold on a second. Maybe it's not advancing as rapidly as we thought. What's the Publicis Sapient perspective?
So our take is like, this is going to be an important channel, right? Means there is no doubt about it. But how you want to play, you have to think about the fundamentals first and start there rather than become another Me Too there as well, right? And so you need to think about, again, the data infrastructure, how you show up in terms of content, not just your product content, but overall content. How do you think about the tagging so you can keep understanding what are these answer engines looking for and tailor your content and your product information accordingly, right? So those are some of the aspects that we are asking our retailers to really think about. And then you want to show up well. Just don't show up for the sake of showing up. And look, this is also an evolving field. I think Google ultimately has a leg up, and they're probably going to be one of the winners in this. But already, if you look at ChatGPT, right, OpenAI, they already backed out from the actual transaction part of it. They will still be, I think it's still going to be a discoverability channel, right? But where the transaction finally happens, right, is going to be interesting. But Google is clearly making a play to be that channel, and now they will be competing directly with Amazon, right, in some shape or form.
Which could be very interesting.
So I think this is here to stay, but start from the foundation and grow from there rather than try to do something very rapidly and put it in the field, then because it's not going to be as impactful.
Okay, terrific. Thank you so much. That'll wrap it up for this edition of Almost Live at Shoptalk. We'll see you again.